So nowadays, they're still playing with names. Now they're having babies, and they're going to play with names. I'm going to create me a new name so I won't be like slavery. I'm not going to be General Lee and Honeymooner. I'm going to pick Shalala Nene. I'm serious, I mean, black folk are tricky. I went to a drive-in to get some chicken one day. The girl reached out the window and said, that'll be $5.10. So I said, is that your name on that tag? She said, yes. I said, how many children in your family? She said, 9. I said, what's your name? She said, no more. Boy, I swear. Black folk are tough, you see. So in name playing, we don't understand the games. We get into a lot of trick bags because we don't understand names. And that's why in 1857, see, Harriet Beecher Stover says, I'm going to write a book called Uncle Tom's Cabin. And she wrote that book called Uncle Tom's Cabin to sort of reflect conditions, how people are playing with names. But in there, the guy that wound up being the mean, evil victim in there was Uncle Tom. Everybody jumped on Uncle Tom, especially about 1940. Uncle Tom is bad. Uncle Tom was this and that. Let me tell y'all something. Uncle Tom was not a bad character in that book. Please read the book. He was not a bad character. Now, at some point in time, he might have been just a little bit overly religious, but he believed in his God. He was a very strong-willed black man. He was a strong man. He was very honest, and he was very gentle and kind. But everybody beats up on Uncle Tom and using the name. Well, you're an Uncle Tom. You're an Uncle Tom. You're not an Uncle Tom unless you have those qualities of being a gentle, kind person, concerned about your people. The culprit, the real crook, the dirty dude in Uncle Tom's Cabin was a black guy named Sambo. See, Sambo is the real dirty dog. See, Sambo's always wanted to run around. He and, that one of those names again, Gumbo. See? See, Sambo and Gumbo. So Sambo is the one always running around behind with the white slave master. And see, they all beat up on Uncle Tom. Simon Legree wanted Uncle Tom to do in the book was to make his women pick more cotton, raise the quota on picking cotton. And he also wanted Uncle Tom to squeal on where black folk were hiding when they escaped from slavery and ran across the river. Or he wanted them to inform on when they were planning a revolt or anything else. And Uncle Tom says, I can't do that. He said, it's not in my soul to do that kind of meanness to my own people. And so then Simon Legree says, you're going to tell me where they hide? He said, no, I can't do that. But Sambo says, yes, Master Legree, I'll show you where the coons hide. I'll show you where the niggas hide and they ride across the river. And that was a different kind of character for black folk. Uncle Tom said, I'm not going to beat these women. I'm not going to raise the quota on picking cotton. And when a black person comes in short on his cotton picking, I'll take cotton out of my own sack and put it into a black person's sack so he can make the quota and get a whipping. And Simon Legree said, I'm going to break that up. And he told Sambo, you go in there every night and you whip him until he learns to respect me and do what I tell him to do and abide by me and do things in my interest. And so Sambo went in there every night and beat Uncle Tom. And Uncle Tom said, I'll die first. And so they finally beat Uncle Tom to death. So I want y'all, when y'all start using these names, make sure you use the right name. Uncle Tom is a person who might be weak and even ignorant to some degree about what's going on. But he is not going out of his way to hurt his people. A Sambo is a black person who gets in a position of responsibility, position of authority, and goes out of his way to inflict harm and hurt on his own people. Okay? And that's why I'm always defending a lot of these people. When y'all start running down, y'all started bad-mouthing Clarence Thomas and Ward Connolly and Allen Keyes, or what they call them, Uncle Tom. They're not Uncle Toms. You got to call them by their right names, okay? Use the right names. If you're going to name them Shalala, Nene, call them what he does otherwise. Any of them you find as Sambos, call them Sambos. Now, one of the things that's going across the country right now you all need to know about is that based on my first book, Black Labor, White Wealth, on page 166 and 167, where I talked about meritorious manumission. Now, meritorious manumission was a system that was put in place in 1810, where the dominant white society says, wouldn't it be marvelous if we can build in controls into black folk so we no longer have to watch them physically? We can build a system in where they will monitor themselves and be responsible for their own behavior. Wouldn't it be marvelous if we can teach black folk how to see things through the eyes of whites and do this kind of things in the best interest of whites rather than their own best interest? And if they can demonstrate that, we'll either reward them by setting them free, giving them some land, giving them animals, giving them some clothes, and delivering them from slavery. That was called meritorious manumission. It was put in place in 1710 in South Carolina and Virginia. And it rewarded black folk for never having a group self-interest. They always try to pretend they're going to function as an individual and do things against their own people. When meritorious manumission went into effect in 1710, it's coming up now for 300 years. There's never been a law. Black folk have never come up with a way of countering meritorious manumission. What's happening now in the country has been going on for 300 years. Black folk are paid, recognized, and rewarded for doing in their own people, for selling them out, being mean to them, and nobody should be letting anybody trick you into hurting your own people. Okay? Don't even let them make you do it on a religious basis. Now I hear people saying something about Dr. Anderson, I think I got a religious commitment to be responsible for everybody. I said, there's no way on earth that God would sanction that. Why would the Lord tell you to forsake your own children and family, to leave your house and go down the street and take care of everybody else's house, everybody else's children? That makes no sense to me, and I know that what I know about the Lord will never do that. Your first obligation is take care of where you are first. Take care of your own children, your own family. And I keep finding black folk keep saying, well, doctor, I got to be responsible for everybody. I got to take care of everybody. Won't take care of their own home. That is wrong. You know, it's non-spiritual. But what we're doing now is they're taking that about meritorious manumission and they're now hooking it up to what I talked about in Powernomics, which says that you must come up with a code of conduct to start holding people responsible for how they treat you in your own neighborhood and how they love and care for and support each other and whether or not people are selling you out and how you go about doing it. So in some of these cities now, they're coming up with a policy that they're going to bring some substance to Black History Month. They're going to start closing out Black History Month with some substance. Right now, Black History Month is nothing but a little ceremony. You come together, look at 10 or 15 pictures, and talk about what somebody's done, okay? Ain't going to cut it. What these black folks going to say now, if we only have 28 days in a month, that last day is going to be good. On the 28th now, they're going to start setting up what they call anti-meritorious manumission days. They're going to start setting up Sambo recognition and reward days. Where in these communities now, they're going to start recognizing the biggest Sambos in the community. They're going to recognize them. They're going around now. Detroit got one coming up on 28th, and I'll be there sitting on the front row watching it, you know. They do it in Dallas, Texas, and other cities. And what they're doing now is they're going out, they're going to take a picture of all the Sambos. No, they don't take all of them. After the biggest Sambo has been recognized, they then put his picture on postal cards, like yard signs when you run an election, and they're stapling them on fences and walls and trees as Sambo of the Year. They have a program on the last day of the month, like we have now. They have music, entertainment, and food. They come up like the award, Academy Award. They say, now, for the Sambo of the Year. And they build up to it by having a lesser honor called Hayward Shepherd Award. And they give out a Hayward Shepherd certificate for the wannabe Sambo. So they give out this recognition award, and they give out a plaque. And once they give out the plaque and the trophy, they then put it in a conspicuous place where it can be seen all year round. And those signs stay up all year round. So that way, a person who ran for an office and stole out his people, he can't run anymore unless he can show people why his picture's up on the wall. Then they're putting social sanctions against those people. They're telling them that once a person gets noticed and recognized as a Sambo, do not go into the room that he's in. Avoid the rooms. Don't sit with him. Don't talk with him. Don't be in a room with him. You see him on the sidewalk, you go to the other side of the street. They're trying to institutionalize that, so every year at the end of Black History Month, where they said, for 27 days, here are the blacks that tried to be nice, to be respectful and responsible in the community. Then the last day, said, now here are the turkeys to the left. They're going to pick the one. Now, the Hayward Shepherd Award, for you all know who Hayward Shepherd is. When John Brown freed blacks and a few whites and his own family went in to free blacks in Harper's Ferry, Virginia. And what John Brown was after, and here again, why isn't John Brown that white guy? Why is his picture on the wall? Why did I never see John Brown on the wall, John Horse, two other whites that are very historical, Charles Sumner and Thaddeus Stevens, two of the biggest white legislators we ever had, wrote the 14th Amendment, the 13th Amendment, and the 15th Amendment, and the two civil rights laws. Where are those two whites on the wall? Those are heroes in my book. How about Gabriel Prosser, the first black had a major slave revolt? And Denmark Vesey, where is he? Where is Nat Turner? See what they do, they pick the most safest, most sanitized blacks you can get your hands on and stick them on the walls. But those people should be honored and respected, okay? But see, John Brown took his little band together. They went into Harper's Ferry to free the black slaves. And what John Brown was counting on, to break into the military armor there, get some weapons and rifles, and give it to all the blacks, slaves. But he can't do it because he said he had a problem. He said, I can't do it unless all the slaves come out to get the guns. He said, I need a black person with a lot of visibility to call the slaves to come out of slavery and to get the guns. And he said, I got to get somebody. He went to Harriet Tubman first. And Harriet Tubman couldn't meet with him up in Maryland because she was sick. I think she had flu or something like that at the time, so she couldn't come. So then he went to Frederick Douglass and told Frederick